as we always do, and hope that YouTube sorts stuff out. Is that better? That's a better thing? Whoa, I'm nice and close. I'm trying to pull that and come back a bit. Check the thing. Yeah, we're waiting. There I am. Just staring. All right, we're good. We're away. Happy days. Hello, patrons, and welcome to the weekly Q&A. We have to start off with more nonsense because it seems like we always have to start off with more nonsense nowadays. I know content is bad. I'm well aware. I'm sure you've got a gist over the last few weeks when we've talked about this. Let's just say stuff keeps happening and it's becoming... life's tough. Let's just say that. At the moment, life is a little bit tough. And let's just leave it at that. I'm really sorry if you feel like you've been shortchanged or ripped off. Please drop me a line on the Patreon and we can talk it out. I'm happy to be a bit more direct, but I don't want to start each of these with me talking about my personal woes. But yeah, if you do feel a bit like you're being screwed over, please do drop me a line and I can talk to you about it directly and hopefully you can get some context. We are working our way back to where we need to be. But yeah, I keep getting blindsided by by stuff. Which can be tough, even for a positive chap like me. But let's just leave it at that for now. Again, if you're feeling like Miller, you're being a dick, patron, drop me a message. I will talk to you, and we can have a back and forth about that. However, let's not worry about that too much. Let's do. Excuse me. Let's talk about what we're here to talk about, which is answering some questions. Got quite a few this week, which is always good, always enjoyable. Let's start with the Facebook ones. Just for fun. Emil, who was on the podcast last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. Do you have a favourite pay-per-view? If so, what is it? SummerSlam 97 is always one I go to because I love the promo at the beginning, the Life Isn't Fair promo, which I think a lot of people love. I think that's a lot of people's favourite promo. Other than that, I do like WrestleMania 17, a bit boring, but it's just you can just watch it whenever, top to bottom. I also like SummerSlam, I always get this wrong. Whichever the SummerSlam is with Brock Lesnar and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan and Cena. I think it's 13 or 14. I always get it wrong. I like both of them, actually, because one is the one when Brock Lesnar kicks the crap out of Cena. And the other one is that one. So I always like what those... Money in the Bank 2011 is always a good go-to. WrestleMania 6. WrestleMania 6 Warrior versus Hogan, right? Always like that because it reminds me of my childhood. I like Armageddon 2000 because I think that six-man Hell in a Cell match is ridiculous, but for all the right reasons. What else do I like? Canadian Stampede in your house, and the Final Four, and the Royal Rumble before that, which everybody hates. I just loved all the Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart stuff. And WrestleMania 13, which is a rubbish thing, but I like that match. So they're the ones on top of my head. I'm sure I remember some later. I remember I always wanted the Final Four on DVD when I was a kid, but nowhere sold it. And I had to, I remember one day HMV had it and I spent a ridiculous amount of money getting it. And I was like, probably wasn't worth it. But we did it all the same. Aidan, what wrestler from outside of WWE would you most like to see join WWE? I think most of us would say Kenny Omega. I think after the New Japan show in Long Beach the other day, that's kind of just cemented that. I just think he'd fit in very well. Like, he's a really good wrestler, but he also understands characterization. He's good at promos, and he's a bit different. But that's probably too obvious of an answer. Otherwise... I mean, someone like a Carter would be amazing, but I don't think it's going to happen. Who would I like? Keith Lee, I'm a big fan of. Always talk about Keith Lee. I think Keith Lee would fit in there really well. Young Bucks obviously would be cool. I like to see Cody Rhodes go back. I think Cody Rhodes now has turned himself into a superstar. And if WWE realised that and used him in the proper way, I think that could be really fun. I think that's a good range. I like to see Christopher Daniels there before he retires. I imagine he's on his last few years. And I always like Christopher Daniels' work. I think it's a shame he was going to be brought in to face The Undertaker one year. It didn't happen. I think that's a real shame. I think that would have been really good. So, yeah. Maybe he could come in for one run. I don't know. I mean, unlikely, but I think that would be... I'd enjoy that. Andrew Selkirk, are there any podcasts about any topic that you'd recommend? Also, if you had to be an animal, what would it be? Would it be a rhino? Rhino's my favourite animal. I think we talked about that last week. That was on a different podcast, actually. I think it was. Yeah, I love rhinoceroses. And they're just, like, tough. And they just run at people. And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. It's a rhino. Let him do whatever he wants. What podcast? Well, the podcasts I listen to are... I listen to a lot of wrestling ones, obviously, because it's just good to get the time. So I listen to The Laps Fan. I listen to Wrestling Observer. What else? I listen to all the Stone Cold, Jericho, Edge and Christian every now and then, but I've kind of started to wane on those. I think just through over listening. Same with like Something to Wrestle With, Bruce Pritchard. It's just too much. I've heard too much. My go-to is always listen to The Laps Fan, always listen to Wrestling Observer. Other wrestling ones, I guess all the ones I've mentioned. Otherwise, I listen to Crime in Sports. That's a really good podcast about crime in sports. Those two guys are funny. Otherwise, I kind of just go by episode. I don't think there's anything that I would tune in for every single week. I like anything about science, philosophy, history. There's a cool podcast called... it's a World War II one. I can't remember what it's called now, but that's good. So I listen to that. It just tells you about World War II, really. So yeah, I kind of go by subject, like what subject I want to hear, then I'll research it, and I'll sort of go by reviews and ratings and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I listen to. I don't listen to my own, because that would be weird. I don't really listen to gaming ones anymore either. I don't know why. Maybe I should start listening to gaming ones again. I used to love the One Up podcast back then. That's what got me into podcasts. I thought it was incredible. Danny McGregor. Who would you most like to see Ricochet face in a long program? In WWE, or Daniel Bryan now. I think Daniel Bryan versus Ricochet could be really good because it's kind of like that old school. I mean, Daniel Bryan's like old school, but that kind of halfway house segue school. So that would be good. I think Aleister Black versus Ricochet would be awesome. Apparently he's going to 205 Live. That's how he gets 205 Live. I actually think 205 Live is a fun show, but it's a very strict ceiling. And I think Ricochet could probably do better than that if given the opportunity. Who else would I like to see? So like Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn versus Ricochet, I think would be great. Because then all those old indie guys that kind of paved the way to getting into WWE, like Seth Rollins as well, Finn Balor. I would love to see them go against Ricochet. Because Ricochet is obviously a product of all of that, but an evolved version, if that makes any sense. See, I'd absolutely love to see that. Again, whether we're going to get it or not, who knows? But that would be cool. I'd definitely be up for that. Either way, like I know most people don't want Ricochet, and I don't either on 205 Live, but he knows what he's doing. I'm sure it's good for him and his family, his wife and his kids. He's worked really hard. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I would just hope that he gets used, as a bigger deal, as opposed to just 205 Live. Rob Tabor, hope things are looking up, mate. I was wondering if you had a plan for the next month or so of content as you ramp back up. I do. Like I say, Rob, maybe drop me a line and we can talk about it directly. I think that's better rather than me taking up the time here. I do have a plan, though. It's just about sorting my brain out, to be completely honest. But yeah, I do have a plan. Excuse me, jeez. I've got loads of sort of... I still want to do bespoke videos, but little ideas I want to get off the ground. But yeah, drop me a line, Rob. We'll have a chat, be it on Facebook or Patreon or whatever. Thomas Beasley. Okay, we've got loads here. I like this, Thomas. This is good. So which do you prefer? Joining at home. Cats or dogs? Cats. Beer or cider? Cider. Summer or winter? That's tough. Depends how hot it is. I like a nice summer's day, but it's too hot. Winter. Cars or bikes? Cars. Breakfast or dinner? Breakfast. Red or brown sauce? Res. Daytime or night? Oh, we went through that quicker than I thought we were going to go through. I don't know if I can expand on any of those. Breakfast or dinner, I mean, just food. Food is all good by me, but I love breakfast. Waking up and eating the first thing in the morning, just eat a ton of eggs. It just makes me happy. It's just like, yeah, sweet. Let's go. Doug Searle, if you got picked up by WWE tomorrow, who would you want your first main roster feud to be with? Well, Roman Reigns. That means I get thrown right into the main event. Probably a bit too much too soon. I think in terms of who do I get the most kick out of, if I can imagine, who could they say? Realistically, Simon, you're going to be working with this guy. I'm probably going too high. If I could choose, obviously, yeah, in terms of, Brock Lesnar, it'd be amazing, be in the main event, and it'd be incredible. But I think working like someone with Kevin Owens, I think would be a lot of fun because he can talk, he's charismatic, he's funny, and he can wrestle too. And I think he'd be able to hide your weaknesses. I think he's quite an experienced ring general, as they say. So yeah. I think Kevin Owens would be my choice. If I was going through NXT, though, I think someone like Aleister Black would be good. I think I can have a lot of fun with that. Or Adam Cole. Like Adam Cole. Adam Cole can do anything, I think. I think he's a lot of fun. So yeah, I think someone like that would be good. I'd take anyone, though. Put me in a feud with Rhino. That'd be all right. Me and Rhino. Smashing it up. Rhino's role at the moment in WWE is so weird. I don't really know what it is. But I do like the fact he's still going, sort of 25 years, 20 years after he started. It's pretty impressive when you think about it. Pierre, I'm not even going to try and pronounce your last name, Pierre, I'm sorry. Actually, I will. Somad Jagby. It's a great name. Pierre Somad Jagby. Amazing. If Big Cass returns to the WWE, the new gimmick, what do you think his persona should look like? I think they'll probably more or less do what they did with him before because he was over. I mean, you could argue maybe that was the tag team, it was Enzo, but he's also tall, and his heel run wasn't going so badly. I think you probably have to bring him back as a face, just because it's really hard to boo someone that's just gone through an injury like that. But he's a big dude, like he's 7 feet tall, obviously, can't teach that. I wouldn't mind him being Braun Strowman's tag team partner, just because, A, when they obviously win at WrestleMania, that doesn't harm the bar too much, because they got beaten by two massive guys, but also, it's good and it's bad. It's good because then there's a really new, sort of almost like a Bludgeon Brothers tag team on Raw, which I think it would benefit from. But the bad side of that is you're not using Braun Strowman properly. I don't think you need to have Braun Strowman in a tag team right now. That he's got enough momentum, he's over enough that he should be doing stuff by himself. But I wouldn't mind that. If not that, yeah, where do you put him? I don't see him fitting into the IC title program. I think in a tag team for Cass is the best way at the moment. I really do think that. He's not ready for world title stuff, not ready for IC titles, so where else does he go unless he just floats around? So maybe he's Braun Strowman's partner. I'd put him in a tag team. Maybe bring Neville back. Have Neville and Cass. And Neville can just be like the Enzo, but someone that can actually wrestle. Isn't it crazy all that stuff with Enzo when you look back on it now and everything? Wrestling is weird. Man that you fear, you're given control of the entire internet for one day. What do? Shut it down. Well, the first thing I would do is I would go on Twitter and I go ban a load of people's Twitter's account because some people just don't deserve Twitter. It's too much. It's too much. I'd just go sort it out. If I couldn't do it in a day, but if I had all control over it, I would try and sort it out. I'd try and what did I see someone moaning about earlier? I can't remember now, but it was like I was so close because I don't go on much anymore. I probably go on once a day at the moment. And I saw someone, whatever they're moaning about, I just thought, that's your only problem you've got today. You're such a lucky human being. That's the problem with social media, right? You just can scream about anything you want, and eventually somebody will scream back. So I try and stop that. Probably not going to happen. I'd also fix YouTube, which continues to be just the biggest pain in the ass ever. Nothing ever works on it. And I would probably try and delete Facebook entirely from the planet. Because A, I don't like it anyway, and B, obviously all the stuff recently with privacy and everything like that, I think Facebook's just become seriously bad news. Seriously bad news. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Tom Anson, have you seen the Young Bucks versus the Golden Lovers from Strong Style Evolved? It was an awesome match. It was awesome. And I think it's one of those matches where if you moan about WWE, you can moan, don't get me wrong, you moan all you want. Good for you. But I can only imagine if you moan about WWE, it's because you want stuff like that tag match. And it's there. It exists. So you can just go and watch it and get your wrestling fix. And that's why I think it's so great that it does exist, because, yeah, it ticks a box that you're not going to get necessarily ticked in WWE. And also, everyone in that match is so talented. It's ridiculous. Like, the whole Golden Lover storyline is great. It's interesting. It's different. It's coming to the UK now as well, New Japan. Was it June 30th in Milton Keynes and the 1st of July in Manchester, I believe, or Altrincham, where WCW Defiant goes. And I think that's awesome. I mean, what an expansion they're having. And I imagine loads of wrestling fans are going to go to it. So, yeah. I did love that match. I love the whole card. A lot of people were down on it. I quite enjoyed the whole thing. I thought it was well told. I thought it was when it ended, I felt like, yeah, I enjoyed myself. So yeah, I think New Japan are smashing at the moment. That's not right. Matthias Sandberg. Any horror Let's Play games coming? I really enjoyed the two Cowards playthroughs on Video Game TV that you had with Scammell. Maybe Outlast 2 or Resident Evil 7 Biohazard as your first Let's Play. We can do that if people want it. I've got Outlast 2 and I've never played it. We can do an Outlast 2 Let's Play if you want. Why not? Why not? I've got to get Shadow of the Colossus done, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow. And then maybe we can do Outlast 2. Although I'll be by myself. I don't know if I've got the balls. Maybe I'll wait till my mate John is here and we can do it together or something. I'll look into it, but all right. I mean, I just don't like playing scary games, which is the whole point. But by myself on that massive TV as well. This could be bad. I was thinking about PT the other day. That was bad. That was like 4 years ago now as well. Literally almost 14, right? 2014, I think so. Almost 4 years ago. Where did the time go? Chris D, do you think we see Ronda Rousey win her WrestleMania match by tapping out Triple H? As we know, the rules can be changed based on the story being told, because technically it would be against mixed match rules. And Rousey tapping out Triple H fits WWE Tag Team catchphrase, the baddest woman on the planet for Rousey. I mean, I think that's an idea, but I definitely think they're going to go with the Rob. But I like watching you play scary games. We'll do it. Outlast 2 is stupid. It will still scare me, Rob. Trust me. I think she'll tap out Stephanie McMahon because that's the visual they want. They want Stephanie McMahon to be involved in that angle because they want to try and turn her into a superstar. I don't know why. But also, I just think that's the visual people want. You know, she vanquished the big bad Stephanie McMahon. And she can do it while Triple H is tapping out to the ankle lock. You can have this big thing, Kurt Angle, wonderful, beautiful, excellent. I think it would be interesting if she did. I think you'll see some kind of interaction between Ronda Rousey and Triple H, but I think that match finishes with the armbar on Stephanie McMahon tapping in the corner or outside or somewhere, Triple H being in the ankle lock, him tapping, and that's that. We bring it to a close. I do like that angle. I think Ronda Rousey's doing okay. I think Triple H and Stephanie McMahon are coming across the heels. Kurt Angle is Kurt Angle by this point, but I do want to see it. And I think that's all that matters. WWE has made me want to see it, and I kind of want to see it more than John Cena versus The Undertaker at the moment. And if you asked me before all of this, I would have said it was the other way around. So, in that sense, yeah, I can't fault it. But I think, yeah, Stephanie McMahon, I think, has to be part of the finish, just because of the way they booked it. I think, we might guess. Mariam Mohammed, what game do you dominate when you play it? Used to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It's the only Call of Duty I was really good at. That aeroplane level, I was so good at. it. And then I just died. Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS genuinely went unbeaten on that for like years. And I stopped before anybody could beat me. There's a guy that used to work at Imagine Publishing called Rick Porter. Haven't chatted to him in years. I hope he's doing well. He said, I will beat you, Miller. And I said, Rick, I'm not a very arrogant man. You will not beat me at Mario Kart 7 on 3D. I'm too good at it. I just knew it. I played it way too much. And I beat his ass over and over again. And yeah, I literally imagine, I went about 2 years, never lost, and then realised, Simon, eventually you will lose, so I just stopped playing like a dick. But yeah, Mario Kart 7 I was always good at it. I don't know why. I'm not as good as Mario Kart 8, wasn't as good as Mario Kart 6 or whatever. But yeah, Mario Kart 7 on 3DS, I mean, probably not now, but at the time, yeah, I don't know what it was. I just got really good at it. What is your hometown best known for? That'd be Luton Town, the airport. Don't ever go there unless you need the airport. It's a very handy airport if you want to go there, but Luton Town is a hellhole. Once voted worst city in Britain, or worst place in Britain, so that's nice. Got mugged a lot, but what are you going to do? What is the most boring activity imaginable? Cricket. I don't like cricket. Otherwise, I had to go on a drive. I broke the law and sped a few years ago. I had to go on one of those speeding courses. Halfway through, I was like, I should have just got the points. Awful. But it's so like you get like a picture of an old woman in the road, and they say, "Where's the obstacle?" Fucking woman. And some people ask such inane questions. Now, get the points. It's terrible. In the comments to Rob, to be honest, why I'm still rooting for Ronda to be really good in WWE. She looked so lost on Raw last night. I get the feeling they are rushing her, building up the next WrestleMania could have been better. I think she's doing okay, all things considered. I don't know what you mean. There seems to be, it never really flows how you'd like. But I think she's doing okay. But I do totally take your point. I think you're right. Have you played the Life is Strange games? I never have. I've never been intrigued. One of my favourite series. The last episode I'm not afraid to admit made me cry. I highly recommend them. Okay, I can give them a go. I don't really know much about them, to be honest. They're like kind of like point and click games, but not, or conversational games. Yeah, I really don't know much about it. Have you listened to Amon Amarth, Evil Scarecrow, and Austrian Death Machine? I haven't, but I will now because they all sound like three tremendous bands. Oh wait, that's a different comment. that's a different question. I jumped to Ian's. Oh well, Ian's. We've done this. So no, I haven't played Life is Strange. I'll definitely give it a go. I haven't listened to those bands, but I'll make sure that I do. Going back to Mariam's questions, what fact do you wish you had never learned? That we all die. Although, that would have been, maybe it wouldn't be worse. Would it be worse if you didn't know you were going to die and then you die? Because you don't know that you're dead. There you go. There's a philosophical question. I'm going to go with that. That's the fact that I want. If you had the ability to fight anyone past or present, who would it be? Minus the obvious ones like Hitler or the Paul brothers. To fight anybody. I can't say that because that will get me in trouble. I wouldn't fight them because I'm not a terrible human being, but someone that, if I change the question to who has always annoyed you, Sharon Osbourne really annoys me. I don't know why. Every time she's on TV, she drives me nuts, and I can't explain why, but I wouldn't want to fight her because that's not cool. So in terms of somebody I would like to fight, who do I not like? Because I guess you'd have to not like them to fight them. I don't know. So I think of something that really, really winds me up. No one really winds me up. I just ignore them. Block them on Twitter. I don't know. I may just blurt a name out in a bit. Let me think about it. I would beat up the Paul brothers, though. They just don't give back. Just give back. Man that you fear. Lad at work wants to sign up to your Patreon, but his missus won't allow it. That's okay. That's fair enough. It's probably best he keeps his relationship in check, to be honest. Ian, we opened your questions. And Robert Schmiddle, cheers, Simon. Is the social media timeout working? Do you find yourself with more time on your hands, or are you bored while waiting for the bus? Complicated way of asking, are you feeling better, my dude? Well, I'm slowly getting there. The social media thing has actually been wonderful if we get into that. It's weird. It's how your body and your brain adapts. Like, I took it off. I did delete it all off my phone. And at first you go to push it because it's a reflex. It all ties into other stuff, this social media stuff. Maybe we'll talk about it another time. But when it's not there and you go to click it, you can't, obviously. And eventually your brain just rewires itself to the point that you do not click it because it knows, well, there's no point. And then you don't miss it because it just doesn't exist anymore. And the reason I came off it originally was because it was just too negative. Every day someone moaning about stuff. And you can only block. I kept blocking. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it's not important stuff. It is important stuff, but it's never delivered in a positive way. It's not like, here's a really important agenda or an issue that I want to work with. It's always, here's this thing, I'm going to moan about it, as opposed to let's try to put some positivity into it. And given where I am at the moment, I just can't take it. It's every day is moan. And people worrying about stuff that sometimes worrying about stuff I don't think they need to worry about. But yeah, once it's gone, you do just adjust. And I haven't missed it at all, which I think is quite interesting. It's not like I ever think I need to do this. I will go back on eventually because it's good for promoting things. So when I start to balance out again, I will do it. But in terms of how I'll use it going forward, I'll probably have a social media time. So maybe sort of midday and 5, I'll go on there to tweet whatever I want. So yeah, I certainly haven't missed it. I do think it helps, and the more I think about it, the more I start to think maybe social media overall wasn't the success that it should have been. But I do understand its positives when it can be. But no, I haven't missed it at all. There was a reflex for a while, but that went, and then when that was gone, Twitter especially, I just stopped looking at it for a while, and I was like, I'm not even looking. And then I popped back on there to do some retweets and things like that. But I will start using it again properly. But I would strongly advise it if you just give it 2 days. 2 days, just chill out, and I think it just frees you a little bit. And you're like, man, look, I'm away. So it has been good. And I think that was all the questions. I will just check one more time to make sure I haven't missed anything. Again, if you would like to chat to me personally about any of this stuff, because I completely understand that I'm not doing what I should be doing at the moment. I'm well aware. Please drop me a line on Patreon, and we can chat it out properly, because I don't want to turn all these into me ranting and raving about nonsense. But yes, please do that. As always, thank you very much for being very, very lovely people. Genuinely, I get very, very nice messages all the time. And yeah, we'll get there, and we'll get back to trolling the internet and being dumb and being stupid. But again, drop me a line if you want to talk. Otherwise, just keep rocking it. We'll do the podcast tomorrow. It's the bank holiday this weekend, so I hope you've got lovely bank holiday stuff planned. And yeah, just keep smashing it, and I'll try and stop this at an appropriate time, which I never do. It always sort of cuts off just before. I don't really know why, but let's see what happens. I'm going to push stop now, and we'll just see what goes.